Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to an exclusive video regarding brand new Jurassic World Dominion images and a whole host of new information regarding this movie that will be releasing in June 10th. Now, as I'm sure plenty of you guys are aware, Empire Magazine are releasing a magazine on the 14th of April 2022. For some reason, I guess I was lucky, I got my magazine around midday on the 13th of April 2022. So yes, I do technically have an early copy here. We have recently gone over to Twitter and posted all of the images, so if you wish to check them out in greater detail, be able to zoom in on them and see what I think of them, feel free to go follow my Twitter and check out those images. But for today's video, we are going page by page, discussing what we can see and what is told. I'll only be talking about the most important parts of the film, so anything relating specifically to what to expect to see in Jurassic World Dominion, rather than things that happen behind the scenes. Although there are some pretty funny things that happen behind the scenes, such as the actors playing ultimate frisbee in a park nearby whilst being in lockdown. So I would recommend, if you want to see updates regarding behind the scenes stuff, go follow me on Twitter, as we'll probably be posting those later, or you're more than welcome to go purchase Empire Magazine for yourself. So without any further ado, let's get into it. The first page is a double page spread, which is what we showed in my previous video. My previous video contained images of the Giganotosaurus versus the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now, some people were claiming that this is only a render and it's not a final picture from the movie, but I may just say that it is. This is confirmed to be an official screen grab from Jurassic World Dominion. So confirming even more that we'll be seeing a face-off between the new big bad dinosaur and what seems to be Rexy, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, but it could equally be something else. Now, the first page after that, on page 54 and page 55, we have the image that we've seen previously by Empire Magazine. The image of all of the cast hiding behind an overturned jeep and the Giganotosaurus threatening them from behind. However, on this page you can also see a behind the scenes footage shot of what seems to be Colin Trevorrow and Jeff Goldblum talking about what they can see from the movie, where the animatronic of the Giganotosaurus may be, where they want the characters to be acting, and all of that jazz. However, the information on this page is basically information that we've already seen from my previous video, so if you want to stay up to date about the Giganotosaurus specifically, go over and check my previous video. The only interesting bit of information from this page that relates to the movie is the fact that the Giganotosaurus Animatronic, yes, that big thing, actually broke. That must have been absolutely horrendous. Apparently it took them around 6 to 7 months to create, and just to have it break whilst filming, that must have been a very heart-sinking feeling. But yes, it seems like they got it sorted in the end and they've got a fantastic scene out of it. Now the next page is another double page spread, which is just glorious. Already, from this image, as you guys can see, we have the Dreadnoughtus. We don't have a Patasaurus here, we don't have Brachiosaurus here, we have the brand new sauropod in Dreadnoughtus, which looks absolutely fantastic. Now, I'm not too sure what you can see from the image. I tried my best to get a perfect photograph of it since there are no digital copies of this yet. But from what we can see in this image, it seems like a helicopter is flying over the Dreadnoughtus, and they're in some sort of snowy, but also alpine and redwood biome. So I can only assume that this Dreadnoughtus is in the Biosyn facility, the Biosyn sanctuary that we're currently learning about recently. And with that helicopter flying above, I assume that's also a Biosyn helicopter, so who knows. Either way, this image of the Dreadnoughtus is fantastic on page 56. There is another image on this page which actually depicts a similar scene from what we got to see in the Jurassic World Dominion trailer. Towards the end of that trailer, we get to see what seems to be Alan Grant, Maisie Lockwood, and Owen Grady with a gun going through some sort of facility. However, in this exclusive image, we have an extended look at that. We have Alan Grant holding his palm out, we have Maisie Lockwood doing the exact same thing, and Owen Grady's pretty much doing the same thing from the trailer whilst holding his gun. Now, the little tease that it says here is that Alan Grant, Maisie Lockwood, and Owen Grady face off against something that's probably not vegetarian. So we can only assume that this is potentially some sort of raptor. This could be the Pyroraptor, the Atrociraptor, or Blue the Velociraptor. Now, personally speaking, I feel like this may be Blue the Velociraptor, just because they are doing the hand gesture that Owen Grady used to do in Jurassic World to train the raptors. So in my opinion, I believe that they have encountered Blue the Velociraptor throughout this scene. And on this page, specifically page 56, we get some interesting details about the plot of Jurassic World Dominion. Don't worry, it doesn't really spoil all that much, and I believe we did cover it in a previous video of mine this week, but there are some really fun comparisons here. Firstly, Colin Trevorrow says that this is the thing that they've been wanting to do the whole time. Planet Earth is overrun, dinosaurs are in the ocean, they're in the skies, they're in the snow, and are even, as the standalone preview footage showed, in some sort of drive-through movie theatre. But he goes on to explain what to expect from Jurassic World Dominion's Biosyn. It's a globe-trotting saga with two distinct story strands, which will converge in Biosyn Valley, the location of the Amber-Rich mountain range and the domain of the Giganotosaurus. And Trevorrow explained, Biosyn got the contract to house the dinosaurs that have been captured around the world via various governments. They claim it's a research facility where they can study the pharmaceutical values of the animals, but there's also some other stuff going on here. One half of the Double Helix plot involves the Jurassic World heroes we've got to know, as in Owen Grady and Claire Dearin, as well as a new character, the cargo pilot Kayla Watts, on a personal mission. Their journey will take them to Malta and an illicit dinosaur market, complete with a fighting ring that Trevorrow compares to Star Wars' Mos Eisley. In the last movie, we had dinosaurs being sold off, and did it in a very, I don't want to say eyes wide shut way, but it was a very different movie. And that was cool. But I felt that what would really happen is a hive of scum and villainary people. I wanted to see that happen. Which actually moves us onto page 58 and 59. Talking of what they were discussing, we have a brand new exclusive image here that showcases a fighting ring of two juvenile carnivores, may I say. One of them seems to be a Baryonyx with what seems to be a chopped off arm and now has a prosthetic arm instead, and a juvenile Allosaurus, which takes place in Malta. Empire magazine describes this as Fight Club as a dinosaur style in an illicit Maltese market. Very similar, and what I assume takes place in the Jurassic World Dominion trailer. As we know, we expected that a fight market was going on here. We saw Carnotaurus and Allosaurus breaking free from what seems to be the centre of Malta. We've seen some ticket pouches now explaining that the Allosaurus and Carnotaurus were forced to battle, and people can buy a ticket for €25, which is absolutely astonishingly cheap, may I just say. But there are some scum and villainary people out there that Colin Trevorrow does describe them as, forcing these dinosaurs to fight for the sake of making money. I just did not expect them to be juvenile carnivores, but I guess that kind of does make sense. As soon as they become adults, it's going to be a lot more dangerous. So having them in a way where it's only surrounded by hay and chained up, the Baryonyx juvenile and the Allosaurus juvenile battle it off. Now, pages 58 and 59 do come with 4 images in total. One of them we've already seen with the Allosaurus and Baryonyx, but there is one right here where we have Kayla Watts and Ellie Sattler stuck with what seems to be the overturned Jeep that we've seen from a previous image, and also what we now know as the Giganotosaurus. Looking at the shape of the snout and the teeth, I can only assume that this Giganotosaurus also shows up in the Jurassic World Dominion trailer, where it attacks Maisie in a very blink and you miss it scene throughout that trailer. So that myth of it being the Spinosaurus has now been debunked. However, that's not the only image. We get to see another image here of Ian Malcolm, which seems to be some sort of Jeep, reflecting back to the Jeep that he was in through Jurassic Park. Must go faster. And another image we have here, we have Mamadou Afi's character, Ramsey Cole, walking out of what seems to be a Biosyn helicopter. From the Biosyn logo we can partially see at the bottom, and from the behind the scenes footage that we've seen previously. As for those pages, there's not too much information and pages right there at this point in time. The next pages of page 60 and 61 contains the image that we saw of Ellie Sattler about to boop the nose of the Nasutoceratops. I do hope we get to see that. And another image here of Claire Dearin about to push a button. We're not too sure what that's for until we get the high-res image. We can probably zoom in there and see what it says. I assume this is some sort of elevator because I think that green button that you can kind of see does say descend, so maybe that's an elevator of some sort. But then we move on to the final pages of pages 62 and 63, which have some phenomenal images, may I just say. The first image we get to see here is an image of the Giganotosaurus snout, which I assume, and we also have Kayla Watts, Maisie Lockwood, Claire Dearin, I think that's Owen Grady, and also Alan Grant getting stuck in a sticky situation. And arguably speaking, one of my favourite images here, I know, very shocking when you do see it, but it's an image of Alan Grant holding a stick of fire. It's so Alan Grant and Indiana Jones style. I absolutely adore it, and I'm so happy that this scene is going to be in the movie. But on the left of this, we do have a little bit of interesting information regarding the Dilophosaurus. Now, as we know, the Dilophosaurus from the trailer is expected to return in live action, finally after nearly 30 years. However, the Dilophosaurus that we saw in Jurassic Park was merely only one. The Dilophosauruses we saw in Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, I believe, were a total of 5, but get ready for at least 3 live action Dilophosauruses in Jurassic World Dominion. The whole extract explains this. On the set of Jurassic Park, Spielberg explained to Empire that he was having a terrible time trying to get the Dilophosaurus to work. We had a tremendous success with the T-Rex, Triceratops, and the Raptors, he said. But when we came to the little spitter, which I always anticipated would be the easiest dinosaur of all, it simply wasn't. Tonight, there is no such cause for complaint. The Dilophosaurus, that long-necked, frilled-collared, surprisingly lethal mischief maker that has been a fan favourite ever since it killed Dennis Nedry with its death goop, is back and stalking nimbly through the undergrowth, to the delight of everyone's presence. Except, this time there are 3 of them, encircling our gathered heroes and cocking their heads in a charming yet deeply sinister fashion. It seems like a really innocent, cute creature. Just kidding, it's an absolute killer, laughs Bryce Dallas Howard, who in this scene is the subject of the menacing attention. I like their curiosity, adds Trevorrow. I like the fact that up until their strike, they just seem like they want to know what you are and what you're all about. That's the scariest thing about them. They ride this line between terror and friendliness. And don't you know it, we are confirmed to have at least 3 Dilophosauruses appearing in Jurassic World Dominion. That's fantastic. 3 Dilophosauruses in live action, 4 in total, and 5 in animated. The love for the Dilophosaurus is finally coming back round. Now let's talk about the other images we have here. Another image we have here is a behind the scenes shot of Chris Pratt, looking down towards a Pyroraptor animatronic, which looks like an absolute crackhead, may I just say. But we all love the Pyroraptor, it looks absolutely fantastic. But that's not all, and that's not the most intriguing image about all of this. The last image we have here is Dr. Henry Wu, and in this image, we have what seems to be some sort of Alien vs Predator crossover with Jurassic World. I'm only kidding about that, don't worry, that's not going to happen, but it is a weird looking creature. What if I were to tell you that that creature right there is the exact same creature that took flight and scared those kids whilst the whole swarm of them went to attack them? Yes, that's right, they are confirmed to be absolutely giant locusts, which seem to have been made specifically to threaten other people. These are genetically modified locusts, and as I said, they do change the world of Jurassic forever. And unfortunately, that's every single bit of information and image that we got for Jurassic World Dominion. I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. If you want some more information or behind the scenes look of anything from this magazine, again, feel free to go over to my Twitter account. But if you're excited for Jurassic World Dominion and want to stay up to date on all of the news, feel free to press that subscribe button. But most importantly, stay safe out there, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Bye bye. Hello, hi, you, did you enjoy the video? Just a little reminder to press that like button and also subscribe. I just want to thank my Patreons for this month on screen right here, as giving me that little extra support really does go a long way. But anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.